good people of the world. You are listening and watching to Mondopreneur podcast. The main aim of this podcast is to share stories of persons from all over the world to see how they're dealing and coping with this pandemic situation, what happened with their careers, what happened to their businesses. And we just try to spark some new ideas or to comfort ourselves if we are able to hear that other people have similar issues or similar problems like we do. So this whole project is supported by U.S. Embassy in Belgrade in Serbia. And my today's guest comes from Warsaw, from Poland. For me, she's like a superstar in food industry, and she's going to introduce her to you. But I will just say that her name is Kasia, and she's an expert in food industry. So hi, Kasia, how are you?
Hello, Sanya. Thank you one more time, for the invitation. I'm really glad, to see you. And have the possibilities, to have some small talk, yeah?
Yes, but this is basically something like that. Like if everything was normal, we will be probably somewhere, I don't know, in Warsaw and in Belgrade or somewhere else. We will be drinking coffee and exchanging some ideas about trends or in food industry or whatever. And this is kind of a coffee over Zoom. So can you tell us something about yourself? Like what is your educational background, and do you actually work in the field that you studied for? And if not, what changed? And if you have any interesting hobbies, you can also share that with us.
Okay, so that will be very long talk. Okay, so I studied food technology in Poland, and then I get some scholarship and moved to Spain, where I studied for 1 year at the University of Burgos, and I think that it was the first time that I experienced with a food design, and professional sensory evaluation. It was very funny because the aim of my work was to design some kind of kefir, this fermented dairy product. Is it popular in Serbia?
Of
Kefir?
course, very much.
But in case of Spain, it's not so popular product. Yes, and at the time when I was studying there, it was possible, to find a kefir in the supermarket only based on goat or a sheep milk. Yeah, so they were like very extra healthy products and so on. But you can imagine the taste of those products. So they even you try to open it, so when you smell it, you really didn't have you didn't want it, to try it. Yes, so that's why we wanted to work on some kind of kefir that will base on a cow milk and will have like very high sensory quality. Yeah, so I made many researches, like with different cultures, with different temperatures, time, and so on. To get the best results. And part of this work was also sensory evaluation of those products, because at the end we wanted to know if this product is really nice, if it has really high quality. And it was also very, very funny situation, because I have to train the expert panel that based on the Spanish people. So we were using vocabulary in English, Spanish, Polish, just to explain, all the vocabulary that to explain everything accurately. So it was very, very funny at that moment. But even, the quality was quite high. When I coming back, to Spain, I see that there are still, few kefirs based on cow milk, on the shelves still. So the most popular dairy fermented product is a yogurt there. Still, so
well, it's the same in Serbia. It's the same in Serbia. We are still we drink yogurt a lot, but kefir appeared maybe in industrial sense of words. Kefir appeared maybe 15, 20 years ago, and I liked it at first, but I know that some people, it took time for them to adjust to the smell and to the taste. So.
Yeah,
but it's the similar trends are here in Serbia. And what's the situation in Poland? Do you drink skyr, kefir? Do you have those kind of products?
We've got like milk, like buttermilk, yes, like different kind of yogurts, yes, like iced milk also, and kefir is one of this also popular one. So yeah. But in Spain, it's not so. But what was also very funny, that at the time I found that in some pharmacies, it was very popular, for the people to prepare the kefir by their own. Yeah, so they were buying kefir grains. And they cultivate it at home, so they make some fermentation at home, and they prepare it with this kefir grains. So even now I've got this kefir grains in my fridge, So from time to time I can use it also, to prepare a fresh kefir. Yes.
Nice. I think that's perfect. I know that we didn't agree, or well, I didn't send that question to you, but what do you think of the rise of fermented products, especially during the last year or during past 5 years, like sourdough breads and drinks and beverages like kefir? And here in Serbia, we have a drink that is called boza. I'm not sure I know the English word for that, but it's also a fermented drink made of, I don't know, I really don't know, but it's also a fermented drink. So is that a trend? Is it something that is now popular worldwide to ferment our vegetables, to ferment our dairy products? Do you have any information regarding that?
Yes, it started to be more and more popular. People are trying, to ferment everything, what they've got in their hands, even. So they start with different kind of fruits, vegetables. In Poland, we've got also some kind of products like fermented cucumbers or fermented cabbage. So they are very traditional and typical products here in Poland. And I think especially during this pandemia time, people start to use them quite frequently, because of the increasing the immune system and so on, and there is like more and more information about the microbiome and this influence. So yes, we can say that it's a quite big trend nowadays. But I think that if we start to speak about the trends, we can say about some others also that start to be more popular, especially, during the pandemia.
Okay.
But actually, yes, but this kefir, yes, it was that moment that I realized that it was my first time that I was working with the food product design, and also, that kind of work with the food design, with the sensory evaluation, makes me to think about my next step. So I decided, to apply for the PhD study. I applied, in 2 institutions, and after that they accept me. But finally, I chosen, that one that has a professional sensory lab. So I thought that will be the best solution to go further, with this education. And in the meantime, when I was doing my PhD, in the meantime, I started working at the General Veterinary Inspectorate. It was also that time that Poland just came into the European Union. So it was also hard time because we have to make adaptation of our Polish law to the European law. So there were so many things, to arrange. And I was responsible for all the laboratories that are organized in Poland, that they are responsible for the inspection of the animals and animal or products of animal origin in Poland. So it was like very challenging job. I was also responsible for the monitoring of residues if in the products like in animals and products of animal origin. And at the same time, I started to be the Polish representative of the working group of the European Commission. That was also DG Sanko group, and we were also trying to exchange information how we're dealing with this monitoring and so on, what we can improve, what kind of problems are, and so on. So it was also something new, nice and good experience at the time. And then I also moved to the another agency. It was the Office for Registration of Medicinal Products, Medicinal Devices, and Biocidal Products. And in that organization, I was responsible for the marketing authorization of veterinary medicinal products. Yeah, so it was also very curious because I was able, to know what are the procedures, what kind of documentation is needed, to make some authorization about working with the active substances and so on. So it was also a really nice experience. And also at the time, I was the Polish representative in the group coordinating the marketing authorization of veterinary medicinal products in the European Medicine Agency. Yeah, so nowadays we can hear a little bit more about European Medicine Agency because of the authorization of the vaccines. Yes. But before it was, I think, the organization that it was not so well known around the world. And nowadays we can hear a little bit more about them. Yeah. And finally, because at the same time still I was studying, I was having some lectures with the students, making my research. And when I made my PhD, I stayed only at the university, so and just taking part in various projects, grants that focusing on topics related to functional food, sensory evaluation, and also food design. Yeah, but I can tell you also that a part of the food design, I also designing interiors, because I'm also licensed interior designer.
Really?
So that's my hobby. When you are asking about my hobby, one of many, but that kind of hobby that make me like some escape, from everyday life, also like giving a lot of pleasure. Yes, because you can see, you are working, but after that you can see nice results. So it's like, some kind of calm to our heart. Yeah.
But it's nice. It's probably the way you express your creativity or creative side of your personality. So perfect. Yeah. I mean, designing new products and designing interiors, that there is one thing in similar design. So it's something creative. It's a creative process.
But I think that if we generally speak about new product designs, and it doesn't depend if we are designing, food or services or interiors, I think that we have to take into consideration like few things, that they have to be, they have to have a good quality, yes, and they have to be functional, they have to be beautiful, yeah, and they have to be also, they have answer to the customer needs, yes, and the needs of the final user, yeah. So if we are, designing anything, in that way, I think that the final user will be very happy. Yeah. So I
know.
think something, in common, that all the
Yes.
things have if we are speaking about new product development. Yeah.
But what would be a new product development for you? What are the steps that we have to take to develop a new product? And who is actually involved? Like when we speak about new product development, we always think, well, most of my friends or whatever, they think it's just some person that sits somewhere in a laboratory, or if it is a service that they sit in front of their computers, but they don't know that, I don't know, the sales department, the marketing department, the HR, everyone is involved in designing a product, in developing a product. So can you explain us?
Yes, even the customer is designing it. Yes, so designing is more like teamwork. Yes, so it's not like that we've got just only one person, and if we are speaking about food design, we are just thinking that it's maybe some food technologies, yes, or maybe nutritionists, and they are just sitting in the laboratory and doing everything. And it's like one part of the design process. So even, they're gonna create some formula, yes, some recipe. It's not the final step of the product design. And what I'm all the time saying, that it's a teamwork, that even if we try to arrange as much as possible, people with different profession at the beginning, of those steps, connected with the new product development, it's better. Yeah. So because after that, if we will create the formula, we will have some troubles because all the time people will come and say, okay, but it costs too much. Yes, it doesn't wait as we wish. Yes, it's not comfortable for us, for a delivery, for the packaging, and so on. It doesn't look nice, with the design of the packaging. It's not dedicated to that kind of group of the customers. Yes, so there is many complaints that we should avoid it. Yeah. So if we go step by step, from the new product idea, by perfecting, this idea, and by the customer define, it will be easier. Yes, but what I also saying at the beginning, that it's very important to ask ourselves what kind of consumer needs we want to work for. Yeah. So if we didn't know, and if it's just only our, I don't know, that, because very often we've got some kind of companies that they find some idea, they find some product, for example, especially United States, yes, because that's the market that usually everybody goes there at first, and after that, spread and go to the European countries and to other countries. But they forgot that very often, what worked there, we didn't work the same, in other environment. Yes, so so very often it's like some kind of ambitious of the investor. Yes, and they really didn't answer, who will be the final customer and what kind of problems they have, and if they really need it. Yes, because sometimes it's happened that the investor is just only the need of the investor. Yeah. So, yeah. But of course, it's necessary, to have some dreams, to think wider, and to start with something. But it's very necessary, to make some confrontation. Yes, with this idea, and make a confrontation with the future customers. Yeah. That's why we also, recommend, to make, some kind of evaluation with the customers at the beginning, to interview them, to check, what's their opinion, what they really need, what are, I don't know, some kind of products that are not available on the market, but maybe it will be helpful for them if that kind of products will be there. So that kind of information give us also some ideas, in which direction we have to go. Yeah, with with our idea. Yeah, because sometimes it's evaluate, and finally from the idea A we've got idea B or C or D, and it's totally different product. Yeah. And so it's very, very important, to ask at the beginning, to what the customers think about that. And nowadays we've got like many tools that we can use, to evaluate it. More and more popular, it's like design thinking, for example, method. So many companies, not only food companies, are trying, to use this method to check and to create these ideas that correspond, to the customer's needs, like the brainstormings, like the evaluation and checking the trends, because we see that nowadays, even, if we've got some kind of trends that are popular in the United States, it starts to be also more popular in the other countries, yes, like in European countries. So if we are updated, it's easier also, for us to see if this is a good trend with our product, or maybe it's not the time, we have to wait. So we've got also, some kind of examples that in case of, for example, lactose-free products in Poland. So this technology was so well known in Poland for many years, but it was like 80s. And but it was the time that there were nothing on the shelves, so nobody was looking for the lactose-free milk. Yes, so they were happy that any milk is on the shelf. Yeah, at that moment. But for example, in countries like Scandinavian countries, like Sweden, Finland, they make some advantage of this, and they start, produce this kind of products, and they are well known from the production of lactose-free products. And all the time when I'm going there, I can see that, all these fridges are bigger and bigger, with totally different products, lactose-free products. And 4 or 5 years ago, it started to be more popular, this lactose-free production in Poland. But as I mentioned, that time when they discover, the technology, to make this lactose-free product, it was not that time, for doing that. Yeah,
for it was that kind of product.
Yeah, it was also the same, like, for example, with vegan products. Now we've got a big boom. Yeah, like everybody is saying about that. Everybody is looking for some plant proteins, trying to use them. Even there are some kind of problems nowadays on the market, to obtain them. Yeah,
really,
because everybody is trying, to make some plant alternatives, to the animal proteins. And as we know, this market with the animal proteins is quite huge, because, they are also using them for some kind of products, for the sportsmen and so on, for the infants formula. So, it started to be really a huge market for the plant proteins. And nowadays the market has a problem, where to find them, to create your products. Yeah, even the meat producers, they start to have their own lines with plant proteins, like sausages, like pâtés, and so on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
it's starting to be very, very popular. I don't know how it will go in the future. And
Well, I think it's going to develop, from my point of view, I think it's going to develop as much as we develop our awareness of importance of protection of our planet and nature. You know, how many water we waste for, I don't know, raising one cow. So I think it's going to at the same pace, from my point of view, at the same pace. Like, our awareness of protection of the environment is going to dictate how fast is going to develop that vegan niche of market. I think it's not going to be niche anymore in maybe 10 or 15 years. It's going to be just a market. It's not going to be specialized niche market.
yeah.
So can you explain to us what is a functional food?
Functional food. Functional food is a food that have some additional healthy value apart of this nutritional one. Yeah, so it started to be also very popular trend nowadays because we can observe the customers are more aware about their health and the health of of ours, yes, and our family. So they concentrate more on what they are eating. They are like more conscious about their lifestyle, what they are eating, and how after that they behave, if they feel good or not, if they've got a good mood or not, if they can sleep well or not. So it starts to be, like very important things nowadays, for the people. So they start to look carefully also what they are buying, or what is written on the label, and they even start to read the label. So that's also a very big step, I think. I think that because of that, also the producers see that it can be some advantages for them, some possibility, to put different kind of products on the market that has this functional benefits, but it's still, I think, difficult, for the customers to see the differences and to catch, what it's really does it mean, that it's functional, because in Europe it's not so well regulated. Yes, we've got like some health claims, we've got like some nutrition claims. For example, in Asian countries, when the consumers is going to the shop, when they see, some kind of symbols, signs on the packaging, they know that this is a functional product. Yes, so even they are buying, when they are paying more, they know that they are paying for something with some additional value. Yeah, and in Poland, I think that some consumers they didn't know exactly, how to recognize that kind of product has some additional value. Yes, because producers put a lot of symbols, signs on the packaging, like, I don't know, vegan, gluten-free, lactose-free, ecological, like organic products. Sometimes, yes, they put that it has some vitamin C additionally added. And that they have, I don't know, no added sugar there, that is natural. After that, I think that the customers are really confused, and they really don't know, what is the value of this product. Yes. Yeah,
I know.
So, yeah, and of course, it's also, I think, difficult, for the producers, because they have to be very strict with the regulation that in the Europe, that they couldn't say just any statement about the healthy effects, yes, because it's forbidden. A part of that one that are regulated by a European Commission, yes, like the healthy claims. So I think that it's also, difficult things for the producers also at that moment. Yeah. But
I mean, me as a producer of a certain type of food, I don't put any of this stuff on my package. So you're not going to see any of the labels. I have the nutritional value table, and I have the basic infos about my company, and I don't know, best before and something like that. But I don't put any of this vegan, I don't know, lactose free, because sometimes I see a product that doesn't contain milk at all. You know, it's not a milk based product, and it says lactose free. You know, on the package you can see lactose free, and I'm like, okay. I mean, that product, like canned bean. There's no milk in that kind of product, but producer puts lactose free. So it's I think it's also confusing the customers. So I don't know.
I heard also about some other things that the producers are putting this symbol of vegan products, or all the products that are plant based. Even there are some spices they are put vegan, and for sure people will buy it more frequently than the other spices without that kind of signs. Yes, so they make
I know.
I've got also some other colleague that is working in some company that it's responsible for the online shopping, and that it started to be also very popular now. And he's saying, just put that everything that has some vegan signs, the sales is increasing. Yeah, so it's like, they are just, making some researches, they have a look, how the customers really react on that kind of information, and they try to, use it. Yeah. But finally, yes, I think that the customers, they are really pure, that they are not able, to to be consequence, in the way how they are shopping, and really they miss this the most important information. Even they start to be more and more aware about the products that they are buying, but I think it's going in a totally different direction. Yeah, so they miss sometimes the most important things that the product should has. Yeah,
I know, I agree with you. I actually agree with you. So what are some other trends in Europe, let's say, when we talk about food? So we are going to develop some new products that are functional. We are maybe returning to the vegan food, or but what are other trends? Like, is there a special niche for premium products, or products that have some, I don't know, imported ingredients or whatever? So what do you think? What are the trends for I don't know, next 5 years?
Yeah, actually, if we can see, what's happened during the past months, and what is the direction for the next, because of the pandemia, we can see that trends have changed during this pandemia time. And we can see that there is a strong trend in the production of products for boosting immunity. So we can see that so many companies trying, to put functional products or dietary supplements, yes, with these active substances. And also, we have to be just aware and we have to think about that, because as we know, if we've got a functional product, we can have some kind of results when we are eating them quite frequently. So without that, we can observe any fruitful effects. Yes, finally. But it's really a strong trend, with all these products, functional products that are focusing on the boosting immunity. Another one thing is that also based on the pandemia and all the problems with the health that we've got, so they are the products for boosting mood and also stress reduction. So one of the syndromes with the COVID is it's a problem with sleeping, for example. Yes, so they are looking for that kind of ingredients that can be added, to the products, to boosting mood and also to make some stress reduction. That there are like some.
Sorry, can I interrupt you? But I think there is a bioidentical hormone, melatonin, and you can buy it actually in a form of a pill. But what would be a substitute? How can we use it actually in producing new food products? Can you when you say products that are going to, I don't know, improve our moods or improve our stressability or whatever, so what do you have an idea what would that be?
Yeah, so they, for example, use like different kind of extract, like plant extract, like lavender, for example, extract, like hops extract, like melissa, for example. Yes, so that kind of products. So you can find like different kind of drinks or like teas, like some mixtures of those extract in different kind of products. Yeah. So,
but is there any way to develop a solid product, like, I don't know, a cookie or something that we also eat and consume every day by using this kind of product? And in what quantity that there should be lavender in a cookie to actually have the effect of relaxing our, I don't know, minds and thoughts and bodies?
Yes, all the time, for example, when you are producing that kind of products, you have to make some confirmation that, for example, that amount of these cookies, for example, will give you some healthy effects, but what is also, very maybe not well described also and not well regulated in Poland that or in Europe generally, that you do not need to make some clinical trials for that. So for example, it's the same with the dietary supplements, so you just have to prove that with that kind of amount, for example, of using that kind of substance, with that kind of researchers, they proved that that kind of product works well and so on. So they don't need to make some clinical trials like it's needed, for the medical products. So that's why, this is the differences between the dietary supplements and the medical products. But for example, in case of these clinical trials, in some Asian countries, when this law about the functional product is well regulated, they also, they have to prove that not only the active substances has this valuable effect, but the product with this active substance. So they have to make some clinical trials and check what are the consequences of eating, for example, that kind of cake with this amount of the active substances, and if it works. But for example, in Europe, based on that, we've got some healthy claims. So for example, that kind of claim that we've got on the margarine, for example, that the margarine with sterol and stannose esters, they will increase the cholesterol level. So there are these claims that are evaluated by the European Food Safety Authority, and they are saying that yes, you can use it because we've got some data that is saying that it really works. Yeah, so they have some evidence that it really works. Yeah, but with the using the health claims, it's really not so easy thing, because EFSA has to evaluate all this data, all these researches, and after that they are able to say if this claim really works or not. Yeah, so there is not so many claims that we can use. Yeah, on
I know.
different products. Yeah. But in Asian countries, it's also, they can instead of using these claims, they can use this kind of symbol. Yeah, that it's also some kind of consequences of the evaluation by the government that it works. Yeah.
Okay, so we almost came to the end of our conversation. So can you share with us how you spent the last year? I mean, if the universities were shut most of the time throughout the year, how your work looked like? Like, did you prepare any lectures? How was it organized? How did you get in touch with your students or with your mentees? Because I know that you're a mentor also. So how did it work, and how did it affect your personal life?
I still work hard, but the way I work has changed totally. And the place where I work also, yes, because I mainly work remotely. I tried, to adapt and see it as an opportunity, rather than a problem. And although it's quite a challenge, yes, to survive.
Of course.
to survive in that situation. Of course, I think that my priorities have changed. Many things happen beyond our control. Yes, so we just have to say, okay, it's like that, and we have to go further. Yes, so we have to solve our problems step by step. It's that we just have like more troubles in our everyday life, but we just have to go, yes, and try to solve them. But of course, working remotely at home with your children that are also staying at home, because one of my child is in the second class of the primary school. The second one is at the end of his kindergarten. So you can imagine, both of them remotely, and I with my husband, the same. So it was really a really crazy time. We tried, to arrange it, to make some plans and so on. It was very challenging, time. So, but also it gave us like more opportunities, I think. So I didn't think about that it's like something, something very horrible, what happened. But of course, we are still aware about our family, about ourselves, our health, and so on. But I think that there are also some nice things that bring us, that kind of situation, and gave us like more opportunities, to doing different kind of things. And I can send that also there we can find a lot of pros and cons associated with this remote working, caused by the pandemia. It's like easy communication, for example, now when we are don't need to, to move, to take some plane and go there and spend like, even 3 days, for that kind of event. So it's easy communication. Yes, it's like a save of time, save of money. Yeah, in that case, for example, I can have my lecture, for example, with my student in Warsaw from 8 to 10, and at 10 I can start, for example, my speech at the international conference in China. Yeah, so. I just, change the channel and I'm there, yes. So on the different time zone, but
But it's manageable.
Possible, yes, it's possible. Of course, I missed a lot, traveling. I miss it a lot. And I'm trying, to do it in Poland, changing the places, cities, and just moving, I don't know, to the forest or whatever, just to change the background. And I'm trying, also, to give that possibilities, to my children, that it's also big stress, for them. So just to show them that we try to live in a normal way. Yeah. And after that, I think that it's less stressful, for them also. Yeah.
I know they're small. They absorb everything. At this age, they actually absorb everything. So
that's true.
It's
but
our duty
also,
to show. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, but I think that also, it starts to be like helpful, that things that we are like more flexible in time. Yeah, so before it was rather impossible, for me to go for a walk to the forest during the day. Yeah, because I was working from morning till the afternoon, so just afternoon it was possible to do that, and after that it was nearly night, so you didn't have a fun like that. And now you can like arrange everything, that you can try to put that kind of very important things also for you in the meantime. Yeah, so it's also one of the nice situation, but it also, try to, it forces us, to be like more creative also, I think. So we had also some kind of situation that we were preparing, some kind of workshop, and it was also connected with some sensory evaluation. So when the pandemia came, we said, oh my God, and what are we gonna do now? Yes. So finally, we find some solution, that we organize the samples, that we had some companies from abroad also, that prepare some samples for us, dedicated for us. We repacked it, we prepared like a single packages, for the people, and we send it, like a big package for each participant, and we make some sensory evaluation online. Everybody, has their set in front of the computer, and we make evaluation, in this way. Yes. So yes, we have to be very creative, very creative, very flexible. I thought that I'm very flexible person, and I'm very patient and humble, but I think that that you can be even more, after that time.
After
so
this
I
year.
thought that I'm on the top, with with the expectation, and after that I say, no, Kasia, you can be more patient even. Yes. And and more flexible and more humble. Yes, because this situation also show you that you can be grateful for everything that you've got, really, that you have the place where you can stay, that you can be happy with very small things, that like so many things. Because when the pandemic came, I realized that we lost our freedom also. Yes. So that we couldn't do what really want. And once when I visit my sister, she has some contract in Qatar, and she was saying to me, it's some luxury life here, and everything is fine, But what I'm missing is like some kind of freedom, especially for the women in this country, and I really recognize that it can be some kind of problem. Yes, that you can have nearly everything, but if you didn't have a freedom, it's like it's the important thing, that you can have.
What are you going to do with everything you have if you don't have a freedom to actually use it?
That's true. Make any choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's important. I think that what was also very difficult, it was like lack of the motivation, that you have to work on your intrinsic motivation harder. Yes, so you have to be like, step by step saying to you, okay, you can do it, just maybe you have to be brave, and you have to make step by step. Yes, you have to have like some good faith, also, for your children, that everything is fine. Yes. So this intrinsic motivation was very important at that moment, also, I think. Yeah.
Okay, Kasia, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. As I said, you're a superstar for food. For food. Yes, you are. Yeah, I know. Because you have that quality of explaining some maybe difficult things in normal language that most of people can understand, and that's quite.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really
Nice
an
to hear
excellent
that.
feature. Because you're saying, I remember when I was at that summer school, you were saying, sharing, teaching us some very difficult stuff. Most of us are maybe in food industry, but are not food technologists by education. And you managed to do that so that everyone in the room can understand. And that's quite a superpower. So, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's really nice to hear that.
Yes. So, good people of the world, you were listening and watching to Kasia from Warsaw, Poland. You can always follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And stay good, stay in good health, and see you in a week.